We often assume intelligence makes life easier, better thinking, clearer decisions, stronger understanding, but for many people, it creates a very different experience. Because when the mind sees more, it also carries more. Psychologists have studied this for decades. Not as a flaw, but as a different way the brain processes reality. Highly intelligent individuals don't always appear confident or expressive. In fact, many spend more time questioning themselves than others do. They notice patterns others miss and think long after others have moved on. And over time, this depth can feel isolating. One of the most common struggles is overthinking. Highly intelligent minds don't think in straight lines. They expand, branch, and loop. A simple decision turns into multiple possibilities, outcomes, and risks. This is strongly linked to the brain's default mode network, DMN, which is responsible for self-reflection and mental simulation. Research shows that increased DMN activity is associated with rumination, the tendency to replay thoughts repeatedly. This means what looks like overthinking is often a brain constantly simulating scenarios and searching for patterns. But the cost is mental fatigue. Because when the brain doesn't switch off, rest becomes difficult. Another struggle is feeling misunderstood. Psychologist Leta Hollingworth described this as the problem of communication, the gap between complex internal thinking and what everyday conversation allows. Highly intelligent individuals often think in layered, abstract ways that are difficult to simplify. When they try to express these thoughts, the response they receive may not match their intention. Over time, this creates emotional distance. Conversations feel incomplete. Many begin to withdraw, not out of arrogance, but because explaining becomes exhausting. They are not silent because they have nothing to say, but because what they think doesn't easily fit into simple conversations. Then comes self-doubt, which seems paradoxical. While intelligence is often associated with confidence, psychology suggests the opposite can happen. The Dunning-Kruger effect explains that people with higher awareness are more likely to recognize uncertainty, which leads to doubt. This is also connected to impostor syndrome, where individuals question their own competence despite evidence of ability. Highly intelligent people constantly analyze their own thinking, looking for flaws and gaps. Even when they succeed, they may feel unsure. It's not insecurity, it's awareness taken to a deeper level. This constant mental activity leads to mental exhaustion. According to psychologist Daniel Kahneman, the brain operates through fast thinking and slow thinking. Highly intelligent individuals tend to rely more on slow, analytical thinking, which requires more cognitive effort. When this system runs continuously, it drains mental energy. This is why even simple decisions or conversations can feel tiring. From the outside, it may appear like withdrawal or laziness, but internally, it is a mind that has been active for too long without rest. Another subtle struggle is difficulty with small talk. Highly intelligent individuals naturally seek depth and meaning in conversations. Research shows they often prefer abstract thinking and deeper discussions over routine social exchanges. Small talk can feel repetitive and unstimulating. This creates a disconnect. Others bond through light conversation while they feel disengaged. As a result, they may become quieter, not out of arrogance, but because they are searching for something more meaningful. They are present, but not fully connected. Then there is perfectionism and high standards. Highly intelligent minds can clearly imagine ideal outcomes, but psychology explains this through the planning fallacy, the tendency to underestimate real-world challenges. The brain can design perfection, but reality introduces limitations. This creates a gap between expectation and execution. That gap leads to frustration. Tasks are delayed, ideas are abandoned, not because of lack of ability, but because good enough feels difficult to accept. Closely connected is emotional depth and sensitivity. Research in cognitive neuroscience shows that the same systems involved in self-reflection are also involved in emotional processing. This means thinking and feeling are deeply connected. Highly intelligent individuals don't just experience emotions, they analyze them. A small moment can carry more meaning. A simple comment can stay longer. Emotions are revisited and examined repeatedly. This creates emotional richness, but also vulnerability. Because when awareness is deep, emotions don't pass quickly, they stay and expand. Another struggle is boredom with routine. Research suggests highly intelligent individuals require higher levels of cognitive stimulation. Some studies even link this to dopamine response systems, where routine tasks provide less reward. Once they understand patterns, repetition loses its meaning. This is why they may start things with excitement, but lose interest over time. It's not a lack of discipline, it's a mind searching for stimulation and challenge. Without that, everything begins to feel the same. Finally, there is masking intelligence. Over time, many highly intelligent individuals learn to adapt socially by simplifying their thoughts and holding back depth. This is known as social masking. They adjust not to deceive, but to avoid disconnection or judgment. But this creates a hidden cost, because when someone constantly reduces their depth, they are rarely fully seen. And that leads to a quiet form of loneliness, not because they are alone, but because their true thoughts remain unexpressed. Many of these traits are misunderstood. Overthinking is labeled as anxiety. Silence is seen as disinterest. Depth is mistaken for distance. But beneath these labels is a mind that processes more deeply, searches for meaning, and sees beyond the surface. The real struggle is not the thinking itself, but existing in a world that doesn't always understand it. Intelligence is not always visible. It is not always loud or confident. Sometimes it exists quietly in observation, reflection, and constant questioning. But this way of thinking comes with both strengths and costs. It is not a flaw, but a different way of experiencing the world. And perhaps the goal is not to silence the mind, but to understand it. Because the same mind that overthinks is also the one capable of seeing meaning where others don't.